Awesome. Good morning, and welcome to all of you on this Daylight Savings Day. Thank you for getting out of bed on time to do this. It was a real trial for some of us. I know this. Yes, definitely true. Yes, there is a reason. I was there. Anyway, welcome to the Metro East Unitarian Universalist congregation, and greetings to those of you watching remotely and from the future. This is a welcoming religious community, and we are so glad you are here today. I am Jamie Riedessel. My pronouns are she, her. I've been attending church here since December of 24, and I am currently your treasurer for a short period of time. It is a job that involves some things we'll be talking about in the future, so let's go with that. All right. We are spiritually led by Eden Johnson, who's not in attendance today, who is a Master of Divinity and is our ministerial fellow. We gratefully share sacred space with the Edwardsville Masonic Lodge. As you can see, we're in a Masonic Lodge right now. In our pulpit today, we have Reverend D. Evans. Thank you, D. They are a member of our congregation and your Unitarian Universalist Advocacy Network of Illinois Catalyst. She remains thankful for this congregation helping her be ordained at Abraham Lincoln UU Congregation. And if you have any questions about social justice advocacy, that's who you want to talk to, because that's what UUANI is all about. All right. We welcome everyone to this home of comfort, spirit, justice, and hope. We are Unitarian Universalists. We begin our service with a prelude by our pianist, Joy Heft. An important ritual in the Unitarian Universalist practice is the lighting of our chalice. Unitarian Universalists have many different interpretations for the flaming chalice, including the light of reason, the warmth of community, and the flame of hope. If you are watching elsewhere and have a chalice or candle, please light it now and join us as we all sing and sing the unison words projected on the screen. Can I have my chalice lighter, please? Oh. I will do that. We light this chalice today as the symbol of love and revelation, always ongoing, always expanding. We light this chalice in hope for our future of our church, our community, our trajectory, and our world. May love center us always.
Our opening prayer today is Something in Us Still Reaches by Reverend Michelle Collins. Spirit of life and love, we gather and we pause in the space between what was and what might be. Here, possibility is not a promise, but an invitation, fragile, alive, asking us to move forward in trust rather than clarity. We confess our fear of the unknown, our longing for certainty, our clinging to the comfort of the familiar. And despite it all, something in us still reaches, still wonders, still hopes. Grant us the courage to embrace faith in possibility when the path before us is unclear. Help us trust in that reaching, in the wondering, in the choosing. We are already forming and carried by a love that will not let us go. May we meet what is yet unfinished with tender hands and open hearts. May we meet the rising sun with courage and lean into the work of shaping that which is possible together. So may it be.
I invite you all to take a moment to greet someone you don't know or someone you haven't talked to in a while this morning, and make a new connection over coffee and talk to people. Then we'll sing a hymn. How are you? I'm doing pretty good. We'd like to begin with our first hymn. Y'all are a chatty bunch today. That's okay. Hi. Number 108. My life flows in endless song. Song above your lamentation, I hear the real, the far of Him that is a new creation. Through all the tumult and the strife, I hear the music ringing. It sounds an echo in my soul. How can I keep from singing? Walk through the tempest round it roars. I know the truth it liveth. What through the darkness round my clothes sings in the night it giveth. No storm can shake my innermost calm. Since love prevails in heaven and earth, how can I keep from singing? When tyrants tremble as they hear the bells of freedom ringing, when friends rejoice both round and near, how can I keep from singing? To them are ringing, when friends by shame are undefiled, how can I keep from singing? It is a tradition here at the Metro East Unitarian Universalist congregation to place each service within the larger values that we as Unitarian Universalists hold dear. This week we lift up the values of transformation and pluralism. Transformation. We adapt to the changing world. We covenant to collectively transform and grow spiritually and ethically. Openness to change is fundamental to our Unitarian and Universalist heritages, never complete and never perfect. Pluralism. We celebrate that we are all sacred beings, diverse in culture, experience, and theology. We covenant to learn from one another and in our free and responsible search for truth and meaning. We embrace our differences and commonalities with love, curiosity, and respect. Our reading today is The Freedom of Doubt by Paul Stevenson Dudenoff. The freedom to doubt, to question, to be content to live in mystery is central to the liberal religious tradition. Like the process of evolution itself, the path that we follow, our practice, if you will, is not easy or simple. It isn't without its dead ends or its disappointments. It doesn't guarantee that all of our conclusions will be final or that we will ever find an answer to all of our questions. But also, like the process of evolution, it is filled with great expressions of beauty and awe that are sometimes born of great struggle and at other times come as unexpected grace. As part of our weekly service, we take time to express the joys, concerns, and sorrows. This is one thing that will not change. Home for us means a place where we can each share things that weigh us down or lift us up with joy, which we need right now, and where all those we love surround us in good times and in turmoil. If you like to recognize a joy or sorrow or milestone, you can come forward and place a stone or several stones into the bowl to represent your joys and sorrows. There are stones here at the front. If you haven't brought some from home, we don't frown on that, in fact. Do that. I invite you to come now down the aisle to my left, across the front, and choose a stone and place it into the water and return down this aisle. If you're not able to navigate this for any reason, please raise your hand and someone will come along to bear your joy or sorrow with you, for we are a generous people. Let us be in a spirit of prayer and meditation.
For the world. This is a time, a story for all ages. When I was a child, I used to think that adults created a lot of problems for us as children. And as I became an adolescent, I became convinced that adults did in fact create a lot of problems for us. And one problem that really annoyed me is when adults asked, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" I was not allowed to swear as a child. But I wanted to. But one time, this script was flipped on me. I started working with adolescents as an adult, and one of them looked straight in my face and said, "Why do you adults create so many problems for us?" And I said, "Well, like what?" He said, "Well, why do you ask us what we're going to be when we grow up?" "I don't know." "Oh." I said, "I think adults do that, or at least I do it, because we want to put all kinds of possibilities in your mind. We want you to think, and really think, that maybe you'll be a great opera singer, or maybe you'll be a hockey player when you grow up, or maybe you'll be a school teacher, or a social worker, or a psychologist, or a dietitian, or a librarian, or a musician. We want you to think about all the possibilities. So don't be like I was and get annoyed when adults ask you what you want to do when you grow up. Just start thinking and dreaming about all the possibilities. Now, let us sing our children to their classes. You journey as you journey, may you know, love and hope go with you, love and hope go with you, learn and grow, learn and grow.
Our next hymn is number 112, Do You Hear in the Gray Songbook, or as projected on the screen. Stand through the sky, through the land. Do you hear lights on the plains, in the vale on the lane, in the sun, in the rain? Do you hear, through the roar, through the rush, through the throng, through the crush? Do you hear in the hush of your soul, of your soul? Hear the cry, fear won't still. Hear the heart's call to will. Hear the sigh startling thrill in your soul, in your soul. From the place where you stand to the outermost strand, do you hear, oh my friend? Do you hear all the dreams, all the dares, all the sighs, all the prayers? They are yours, mine and theirs. Do you hear, do you hear?
Good morning. I am trying something new today. And because I've learned from experience that when time changes, you can always expect fewer people to come. So I am going to try using my iPad instead of a written script. And I figure if I'm going to make a mistake and if I'm going to have to switch to paper, which I have as a backup, that there would be fewer people here to see my mistake.
And we're very forgiving.
I know.
Libertarians are very forgiving. We like to kill you. The error is human, my friend.
Last week, all I wanted to do was to take my plastic bags to the store's recycling bin. As I walked in the store, a sea of stuffed bunnies, colored baskets, and plastic eggs greeted me. Easter was staring me in the face. Easter raises one of the biggest mysteries of life. What happens after death? What are all the possibilities of life after death? As I walked toward the recycling bin, I realized that all religion was actually about possibility. These thoughts in the store were triggered because I already knew that possibilities was the theme for Unitarian Universalist services in April. So today I would like to use the Easter story as an example of differing possibilities and how all religion is a story of possibility. And Unitarian Universalism uniquely invites us to investigate all these possibilities. Now, let me start with a personal story because it is one that has no answers, only possibility. By the time my mother had died, I had left the Catholic Church, left any Christian explanation of life after death, and had no answers about any of it. Then something strange happened about 3 months after my mother's death. In my grief, I woke up crying. I sat up, looked at the clock, and noticed it was 3:30. I wiped my tears and hoped that I could go back to sleep. Suddenly, literally as clear as a bell, I heard my mother's voice say, "Stop crying. I'm okay. I'm going to be a little girl now." Now, if you have never had the hair on the back of your neck or your arms stand up, I can tell you it's not a pleasant experience. Tears started down my face again, and I am not sure if they were out of fear or out of grief. Then again, I heard her very clear voice, "Stop crying. I am okay." My eyes looked at the clock. It was 3:33. I sat there not knowing what to do. I did not go back to sleep. At 6 a.m., I called into work taking a sick day. At the time, I worked as a licensed clinical psychologist in a forensic mental hospital. My code of ethics said you did not treat patients if you doubted that you were stable mentally. Hearing my mom's voice twice made me sure I was unstable mentally. As a psychologist, I studied grief and at the time didn't learn anything about people hearing voices of deceased loved ones. At 8 a.m., I called my friend Paul. Paul was a clinical psychologist whose practice was treating people who had grief. I told Paul I needed to see him as a patient and wanted an appointment. I could hear him chuckle. I told him, "This is not funny." And if he would not give me an appointment, refer me to someone else. He insisted that I meet him for lunch in his office. After I told him my story, and I was all concerned, he just shrugged. I looked at him and I said, "Well?" And he said, during his 30 years of practice dealing with people with grief, he knew people heard voices of their loved ones who had been deceased. He knew that they saw their loved ones after they were deceased, or they felt their touches. It was normal, and as long as it did not persist, there was nothing to worry about. It was common. Well, see, my story was like that of many others who grieved. But the stories don't provide any definite answers about what happens after death, only possibility. In contrast, the Easter story in the Gospels provides a definite possibility of what may happen after death. In the Gospels, the women went to the tomb of Jesus to anoint his body and to wrap it in cloth. When they got there, the tomb was empty, and two men told them that Jesus had risen from the dead, just as he has predicted. Luke chapter 24, verse 8 says, "Then they, the woman, remembered his words, that of Jesus about rising from the dead. And returning from the tomb, they told all this to the 11 and all the rest." Now it was Mary Magdalene, Joanne, Mary, and the mother of Jesus, and all the other women with them who told this to the apostles. But these words seemed to them, the apostles, an idle tale, and they did not believe them. Now, it would be very easy to interpret this as misogyny on the part of the men. But who really expects someone to rise from the dead? Now, the whole idea of celebrating life after death and a resurrection came from the Gospels. I used to believe Easter was a replacement of the pagan or earth-based religions and their various spring rites, but research did not bear this out. The Christians were doing their own thing. For the Christians, then, we die and our souls resurrect into eternal life, and after death, there is a very specific place that we go. All Christian sects believe this, despite having different beliefs in other matters. But not all religions believe the same thing about life after death. For example, the Tibetan Buddhism has a look at the mystery of life after death in a totally different way. Their belief is that there is rebirth after death. The type of rebirth depends upon our own consciousness and karma. That is, how we've prepared in this life for the next life. Now, I'm explaining this idea of rebirth or reincarnation in a very rudimentary way. But rebirth or reincarnation is the possibility for life after death for Tibetan Buddhism. However, not all Buddhists believe in life after death. Zen Buddhists generally believe in concentrating on our present life and living in the moment. Speculating on what happens after death is not at all prominent in Zen Buddhism, unlike Tibetan Buddhism. This example of differing Buddhist beliefs exemplifies that a religion labeled as one religion can be, in fact, quite diverse in explaining what happens about life after death. Now, Judaism, like Buddhism, has different sects or movements that agree on some core beliefs, but vary on others. Some movements of Judaism concentrate on living our lives according to God's plan for the world, and it is the human responsibility to make the world a fit dwelling for God's presence. They place very little emphasis on the afterlife. Other movements in Judaism believe in an afterlife, but their descriptions are different from the Christian description of afterlife. According to Chabad.org, in the afterlife, the person experiences the true import and effect of their past actions. It is more about consciousness than going to a place. However, according to the Reformed Judaism website, the afterlife is viewed as having many mysteries, and there are no definitive answers about what happens after death. And they actually actually say this on their website. There are many possibilities. Humanists present a totally different possibility about life after death. If you read the Humanist website or ask the humanist in our congregation, humanists do not believe in an afterlife and concentrate on the present. We should make this world a better place. And in doing so, we leave a legacy that transcends our morality. In the interest of time, we've only looked at 4 different religions and what they stand for and what the possibilities are. But no matter how we look at it, Easter invites us to consider many possibilities about life after death. But religions not only present possibilities about life after death, they present different possibilities about almost every facet in life. We can't investigate all of them, but let me present some that you may want to investigate. Religions differ about when human life begins. They differ about whether humans are intrinsically bad or sinful and need to be saved. They differ on whether God or gods exist, and if that God exists, whether they have a plan for or intervene in human history. They present different possibilities on how we should treat our families and our neighbors and the earth. They present different possibilities on how we might live as men and women and other genders. They present possibilities on how we should use or spend our money. And I'm going to insert an aside here. My friend gave me a Quran to read. So I'm reading it, and I get to this one very interesting passage. And what it says is, once a woman has all her household duties done, if she goes to work and earns money, all that money is hers. So I go to the friend who lent me this, and she says, "Oh yeah, that's what we practice." So when we want to, because I often have incorrectly branded all Islam as misogynist, I was wrong. So they present more possibilities than we know. Other possibilities are what we should eat or drink or not eat and not drink, what we should do about sexuality, how to raise children, how many religious services we should attend, and when. Studying the various religions raises possibilities about all the meanings of life and all the possibilities about how to live. But these possibilities really are mysteries. If we go back and try to find a definitive, absolute, bottom line answer for any of them, we really can't, because it depends on what religion, and in some cases, what philosophy you read. There are no definitive answers. But spirituality is the practice of deciding how to interpret all these mysteries, all these possibilities, and to put meaning in our lives. So what does all this mean for Unitarian Universalists? What does it mean for us sitting here in this room? In my opinion, Unitarian Universalism is a covenantal religion that positions us to uniquely look at all the possibilities that religions present. And we held up today our value of pluralism. Our value of pluralism recognizes that we are on a free and responsible search for truth and meaning. It does not say that we have all the answers to the mysteries of life. It does not say what of all these possibilities as Unitarian Universalists we should accept. Rather, it leaves us free to look at all the possibilities that religions offer us. Unlike a creedal religion, we do not have a set of beliefs that we subscribe to. So, using Easter as an example, Unitarian Universalists may believe that there is no life after death. Some may believe that there is definitely a life after death, and some may believe that there is a heaven, and some may believe that there is not a heaven, because we are all looking for a search for truth and meaning. Now, this is often meant to interpret, has often been interpreted as, we can believe anything. We cannot purport what contradicts our shared values. If someone came in and said, I have found the true meaning of life, and you have to believe what I believe, that would contradict our pluralism value. It says, we covenant to learn from one another in our free and responsible search for truth and meaning. We embrace our differences and commonalities with love, curiosity, and respect. In the Gospel of John, chapter 20, Jesus appears to the disciples, but Thomas wasn't there. He tells the others that he won't believe that Jesus rose unless I can see the nail marks in his hands and put my hands into his side. I will not believe. Then a week later, Jesus appears to them and invites Thomas to put his hands in his wounds. Thomas was on his search for truth and meaning, just as are on our search for truth and meaning. As you search, may you not be like Thomas, who finds a definitive answer. Rather, may you rest in all the possibilities. That is what I see Easter as, the holiday that invites us to explore all possibilities. So when you walk into a sea of bunnies and Easter baskets and plastic eggs, remember this word, possibility.
Please rise as you're willing and able for our last hymn, 1007 in our Teal Songbook. There's a river flowing in my soul. As a river Thanks, y'all. Have a seat, people. It's time to go reaching for your purses and wallets. As Amy passes around the offering basket, I offer this gentle reminder that this community of faith is supported only by your giving. Stewardship is more than just financial donations, but is also about donating time and talent to our church. If you can't write a check, please help our church survive and thrive, offering your time to help make coffee, bring snacks, serve as an usher, serve on other committees, such as helping with worship on occasion and maybe an audit committee we may be submitting up soon. Hey, that's a good term. Please donate all you can with your time, talent, and treasure. All are needed for your church to prosper. Also, if you do give cash, please let us know who you are so we know who to credit it to. One people have. We have an envelope in there. However, this is your first time. Don't worry, this is our gift to you. If you want to give online, there's how you do it. Thank you. Also, please join me in this offertory prayer. May this offering equip us to inspire love and seek justice. And now announcements. Hi, we don't have to break down today. Yay! Nor do we have to do it next week. Next week is easy mode. That's great stuff. On the 22nd, we're doing breakdown again. And then on the 29th, we have to set it all back up as happens. That's indeed. Next week for our No Breakdown Day is Ben Louder. And on the 22nd, we have Donna Moody coming in. And on the 29th, Jeff Scoblo for that.
Yeah, there's going to be some really good services coming out. So
we got some good stuff.
For little things out of the norm.
Yep.
But it'll be fun.
Robin's the one who arranges those of us who stand here. So she knows we're going to have a good time.
Some good stuff coming.
Yep. Yeah. So, next up, we got, I believe it's the adult enrichment today. Today is going to be religious education for us adults. Those of us who may have forgotten something we learned as a kid, and those of us who never had it in the first place, this is where you get to find out about what we're talking about today, which is the origins of free church in America. It's good stuff. And after that, I believe it's our pledge drive. I did mention that money is a thing. We're trying to find a new home. That requires money. And we're trying to raise $85,000 by July 26th, and we haven't moved since last week. We're still at $36,470. So please pledge online or from the plate. We got some forms in there if you want to do it here and not have to worry about the online stuff. I'll be sending out a reminder later this month to tell you where we're going and remind you how you can give us stuff. Because, hey, I'm also the treasurer. So I'm here. I'm going to use it. I think, yes, if we should receive a weekly news flyer and monthly church newsletter, which tells you what we're doing, when we're doing it, and who we're doing it with. There's a blue card at the visitor's table in the front hall out there as you came in. Also, the blue card is for the name tag, these things, but we have two kind of cards. And there's a basket on the table to put the completed cards into, and we will get them to you as we can. And yes, new song. The place we're going to, maybe, depending, has gotten their permit, which means that they can actually start building. However, the roads around them are all dug up, so they may not be able to get the equipment in there until the city is done replacing the road. So it's not immediate, but the big bureaucratic obstacle has been overcome, which means that they can actually start putting in the ramp to make it at least somewhat accessible. Yay! So once construction starts, they expect it to be done within a month, and then we can go and see how it works for us. That's great. Meanwhile, for other New Song stuff, we're still talking to them about what it'd be like to cohabitate. I know Amy and Eden and Peg are also working on that. So we're talking about that. Also, the Wood River property is still there. We're still considering that. We'll have a congregational vote to figure out which way we're going to go, but we know y'all have some questions and need answers. So we're trying to find the answers for you. Thank you. Yes, and the men's group will be meeting Thursday, I believe it's this Thursday, at Sugo's Spaghetteria here in Edwardsville. Contact Paul. No? Jerry. Okay. I see, the slide hasn't been updated. Got it. Talk to Jerry, not Paul. And join me in helping us extinguish our chalice. Light of truth with meaning cannot be put out. We are the keepers of this flame until we meet again.
I'm going to say two things. before I give the closing words. One is about our pledge drive. I have done everything you can think of that could be possible for someone to do with limited talents. For example, one of my jobs was teaching aerobics. Okay. I'm not good at it. I wasn't good at it, but I did it. And then I was a social worker for a brief time and then a licensed clinical psychologist. Why do I tell you that? Is it important? Only that. It is only important because I was also a board member of this church. It was the hardest thing I have ever done in my life. It was harder than getting a doctorate in psychology and harder than getting a master's degree and harder than working for the state of Illinois.
Since I work for the state of Illinois too. Yeah.
Now, why do I say that? Because it was always about money. And when you're a board member, you don't want it to be about money. You want it to be about vision and where your church is going. So please, please pledge. I'm begging you, please pledge. The second thing I want to say has to do with a service. One thing I want you to know about a service is it doesn't just happen. It takes a lot of people. So I want to say thank you to Audiovisual. Thank you to Joy, who not only looks over the entire script, she does all the slides, which change every week. And thank you to Jamie, the liturgist, whom, because I was so busy, I dumped most of the script on. So I want everybody to know that this service took place only because of those people. But yes. Our religion is a search for truth and meaning. It is a search for possibilities. Our closing words are by Mark Mosher D. Wolf. With what benediction shall I leave you? This, in your life, may you know the holy meaning, the mystery that breaks it into every moment. May you live in peace with your world and at peace with yourself. And may the love of truth guide you in your every day. Amen. Let us end our service with our postlude.
Thank you. We're all done. Join us back in here for Adults RE in 15 or 20 or so minutes, and then we'll do that whole thing. So thank you.